This is something I have learned over time and I'm still learning, and I want to share with you today. And that is, you have to be present enough to choose yourself. You have to be present enough to make authentic choices in your life. Otherwise, your choices won't be real. They will be made by default and you will become so predictable. When you are not present enough, then there will be many times where you think that you made a conscious choice, but then you find yourself wondering, how did I end up making that decision? I think we make those kind of decisions because we were not present and we had lost our direction. When we are not present, we easily get distracted by the noise of our internal and external world. And instead of making choices that reflect who we truly are and what we really want in life, then we end up making choices based on what we think we should do, and that what we should do is based on our past experiences and other people's expectation from us. Or we end up just going along with what everybody else is doing. So at the end, we don't really make like real choices. But when we are present, when we are aware enough, which only happens when we are present, then we go through life with clarity and intention rather than living constantly in reaction to others and to the chaos around us. When we are present, I think we can like tune into what really matters to us in life and what we really want, and instead of just making decisions in reaction to others and or making decision automatically based on our past experiences. When we are not present, we are going to act and react almost every time according to our mental and emotional patterns that either we inherited or we learned in our childhood. These patterns are very strong and they like affect our lives in a really deep way, and they are kind of like shape our future. I'm going to talk about it a little more, how it's going to affect our life in like such a deep way. But just for an example, if you grew up in a home where you were not supposed to show your emotions, to express your emotions, now you find yourself shut down in your relationships when you are 25, 35, 45, or in whatever age. So that's how that mental pattern is going affecting is affecting your today's life. And that happens even if you really crave that connection, but you can't really express or show your emotions. Over time, this conditioned response, the response that we give to everything according to our mental and emotional patterns, create a conceptual self, a self from us that is far from who we truly are. And this conceptual self or this ego is going to make you interpret everything in life in a way that it wants, and it's going to dictate how you are going to react to things in your life. When we are present, we become conscious and aware enough to see those mental and emotional patterns, then we get to untangle ourselves from that conceptual self and reconnect with who we truly are. There are many ways to do that, but just a very simple way to do that is asking yourself this question: why you are doing what you are doing? This is a simple question. Have you ever asked yourself why you are doing what you are doing? This why in this question is not a why that criticizes you. It's a why out of a genuine curiosity. I think we put too much of our lives these days on autopilot, and we need some wondering. We need some a pause and thinking about why we are doing the things that we are doing, why we are making these kind of choices. We let life happen to us, and I think the only way to stop that is by becoming present enough to untangle ourselves from that conceptual self and then make choices that are aligned with our true selves. What does choosing yourself really mean? Many people think that choosing yourself means selfishness or being better than. And for some, that idea of selfishness works really well because that feeds their ego really well. But some feel guilty, they feel bad when they want to choose themselves because they don't feel they are worthy of taking up a space and being seen. But to me, choosing yourself doesn't mean selfishness. It means seeing or observing that conceptual self that you have created based on your past experiences and starting to separate yourself from that conceptual self and making choices that are aligned with your true self. The choices that you are not going to regret later in your life. And I think also choosing yourself is about letting go of your need for others to validate your worth. And when you start to know your worth and you start to see that true self, then you kind of free yourself from that exhausting cycle of comparison with others, and you free yourself from others' expectations. We can't really choose ourselves when we are constantly on autopilot and we have no idea why we are doing the things that we are doing, why we are making the choices that we are making. We can't really choose ourselves when we are constantly comparing ourselves to others and losing our direction. When we are not present, it gets really easy to fall into trap of comparison, especially these days with the social media players showing their best life on the social media, and then we feel we are falling short. When you compare yourself with others, you feel insecure and not enough if you don't measure up, and that's the case because your path is completely different from other people's path. And if you even measure up and you feel better than others in that comparison, you are set for feeling that arrogance and that sense of superiority, which is not aligned with your true self, for the things that you were created for. At the end, choosing yourself means being present enough to see those mental and emotional patterns and seeing the conceptual self that they created, stepping away from that conceptual self, knowing that it's not real you, and reconnecting with your true self and making choices that are aligned with your true self, that are aligned with your heart. The more you connect with your true self, the more you become clear about your values. And then you see that the people that you used to compare yourself with don't even share the same values with you. Then you let go of the need to compare yourself with others. Then you let go of the need, the others' validation of your worth, because you start to feel your worthiness. The more you connect with your true self, the more you step away from that conceptual self. Then you get to really choose yourself. You get to make choices that are authentic, that are really aligned with who you really are and what you really want in life. I think that's all I had for you today. Sending you all my love. Until next time.